We're going to show that with the support we have.
There you go. That was Governor DeSantis last night. Following Monday's Iowa caucuses, Ron DeSantis confirming this news that he's taking his campaign straight to South Carolina. Then he's going back to New Hampshire. That is home of Nikki Haley, although she hasn't been home in a while. What kind of message does that send? Let's ask her herself. Governor Nikki Haley, Ambassador Nikki Haley, welcome back. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Ryan. It's great to be with you from very cold Davenport, Iowa.
Right. But let's just hope it's not too cold for people to not show up on Monday. But I want to bring you to Governor DeSantis. A lot of this is messaging and strategy. What about his strategy? Regardless of Iowa's outcome, he goes to South Carolina.
Well, first, let's talk about, the clip that you played. He said that he had 5 times more endorsements of elected officials in South Carolina. Let me tell you why that is. That's because I pushed the legislature, instead of voice votes, that they had to start showing their votes on the record so taxpayers could see it. I made them show their votes on every section of the budget. I made them pass ethics reform. I created transparency. So, no, elected officials in the State House did not like me because I fought for the taxpayers. I didn't fight for them. So he can have all those endorsements if he wants. That's fine. I welcome him to South Carolina. South Carolina is a great state. I'm very proud of South Carolina. And if that's where he chooses to go, he is more than welcome. We're headed to New Hampshire after this, and we're going to keep on going, and then we'll end up in my sweet state of South Carolina.
Prediction for Iowa?
I think we're going to be strong. The goal is to be strong in Iowa, strong in New Hampshire, and strong in South Carolina. We won't know what strong looks like until we see where the numbers are. But I can tell you that, we've done multiple events today, and people are coming out with icy roads and snow, and they're all telling us that they're going to get out there and caucus. And they don't seem to be moved by the fact that, yes, it will be -30 wind chill, but they still feel like they're going to go out there and caucus. So we're excited about that.
Governor, by any standard, your campaign's been successful. You were single digits when you started. You were the first one in, and now you're second and third in almost every poll. But playing this out, how do you get to first? The cases are all in motion. The former president of the United States, Donald Trump, is not going on the debate stage. You pretty much know his message. He's polling pretty strong. So what does first place look like to you? How do you get there?
Well, I think, what you're going to see is this is quickly going to become a 2-person race. I think it's going to be me and Donald Trump going into New Hampshire, and you're going to see it's already close. It's going to get even closer, and then we're going to take it to my state in South Carolina. This is going to be definitely an election with 2 people going into New Hampshire and then into South Carolina, and so we'll take him on. If he chooses not to debate, that's his plan, but we're going to fight this until the very end. We very much see a path. You can tell we have related to people on the ground. This is about a relationship, Brian. It's about people trusting you. It's about a relationship that they know that we will tell them everything. We're going to be incredibly transparent. We're going to make sure that they're a part of the solution going forward. But more than that, what we've seen from everybody, they don't want a Biden-Trump rematch again. They want to go in a new direction. They don't want to talk about the old names of the past in Trump and Biden. They want to talk about how they're going to go forward, and they're worried about their kids more than anything. Right. We're hearing people saying that they're worried about their kids and their grandkids, and they want to see us go forward.
But you could argue that, President Trump has never been as strong in the other as he is right now, even compared to his successful one in 2016 and the unsuccessful one in 2020. One person, you can't win them all, as you know. One person you have not won over is Senator Rand Paul. Listen to him.
I'm not yet ready to make a decision, but I am ready to make a decision on someone who I cannot support. So I'm announcing this morning that I'm never Nikki.
So he's opened a website, Never Nikki. Your response to not having Rand Paul in your corner?
These fellas do this all the time, Brian. This doesn't faze me. Politics is not personal for me. We have a country to save. And so these fellas can play these games and do all these things all they want to. At the end of the day, we're going to keep talking to people about how we're going to get inflation down, how we're going to get our kids reading again, how we're going to secure the border once and for all, how we're going to bring law and order back to our country, and how we're going to have an America that's strong. Rand Paul would be fine if we just sat in our bubble in the United States and didn't do anything to prevent war. We have to prevent war and prevent terrorist attacks and prevent those that want to hurt us. He doesn't want to do that. We disagree on that. That's his opinion. I have mine. But I really never was asking for Rand Paul's support, so I'm very okay with that.
John Kerry has announced he's out as climate czar in May. At 80 years old, he's going to step aside. I know they're starting to investigate. He does not tell us who's on his staff, how much they're all getting paid. I don't know what a climate czar does. Is he running from scandal, or does he just want to go on his gas-powered yacht more?
It doesn't matter, Brian. Thank the good Lord. We need all the 80-year-olds to get out of there, and I'll tell you, that includes Trump and Biden. We've got to get past all of these senior citizens that are sitting there staying for decades and years and all of that. We have to have a new generational leader. You can't keep doing that. Ask anybody around.
Right.
We don't need an 80-year-old president. We don't need an 80-year-old climate czar. We don't need these people who refuse to give up the power.
I don't think we need a climate czar,
so
actually.
Thank the good Lord for him leaving.
Yeah, I don't want to see a climate czar ever again.
That's how ridiculous government has gotten.
Right. I want to talk about Taiwan. There was an election today, and right away people say, why do I care? It matters a lot. China really told Joe Biden in San Francisco, it's just a matter of when I take back Taiwan. They warned the Taiwanese, do not elect La Chin-Ti, and he is talking about independence in the past, and he's talking about more of a Taiwan independent streak, and that would, they say, invite war. Here's what President Biden said today. He was asked, do you support Taiwan independence? He says, I do not. Do you want to clarify? Because this is a gray area, but it's extremely important that you watch your words. That seemed clumsy.
You know, I mean, I think that a lot of what Biden's doing is clumsy. What keeps me up at night is what happens between now and Election Day. Because, I mean, you look at him now, he's definitely different than he was a couple of years ago, and it's scary for everybody. But that was a great win for Taiwan. Keep in mind, China was flying drones overhead. They were doing every intimidation tactic that they possibly could on the people of Taiwan. And at the end of the day, democracy won. The people won. They had a fair election. They went and said they wanted to continue to have their freedom. China didn't get the candidate they wanted, and that was a good day for democracy. So I think it's good to see that go forward, and I hope that we continue down that path of democracy, freedom, and fighting for countries who want to fight for freedom.
Agreed, but does it make war seem more likely, a would-be attempt to take over more likely?
Well, I think actually it's the other way around. I think if China thought that they could get in there, I think that would have been the case. What will make war more likely is if Ukraine loses. That's the big thing China is watching. If Ukraine wins, China won't invade Taiwan. But they're waiting to see how long do the allies stay and protect Ukraine? How long does it take for, Russia to continue to go forward? They're paying attention to that. They're paying attention to the Hamas war. They're paying attention to all of those things.
Yep.
So we need to make sure that they see strength coming out of America.
Governor, bad news. You got to go back to the cold. But thanks so much for coming in for the warm studio and talking to our audience. Appreciate it. Best of luck.